Now at noon, a live look from our Skycam at Pioneer Courthouse Square, smack dab in the middle of a pretty perfect day weather-wise as we head towards the mid-80s in downtown Portland. Rod Hill's full weekend forecast coming up. Quick hint, we may not see it this warm again for a while. Also, local classroom-based debate about the way schools cover the ongoing war between Israel and Hamas. Some parents give failing grades to the way the lessons are being taught. And later, a big surprise for a group of kids heading to school by bike. Today, they had a fire truck lead the way. KGW News at noon starts right now. Here is another live look outside from our Wells Fargo Skycam. On a day this nice, the outside shots do not get old, so let's keep it going. Thanks for joining us here for the news at noon. I am Drew Carney, and that is Rod Hill. He's live outside on the weather deck. So, Rod, we're leading off the newscast with your forecast on what could end up being the warmest day around here so far this year.
That's almost become a punchline to me personally, because, Drew, I think I've said that like 3 times now, and each time I've said it, we haven't gotten the extra degree to go above. In this case, we need to give above 85 for this to become the warmest day of the year. I am forecasting 86, but at noon, we're not as warm as I thought we would be, so we'll see how it happens. I am up here on the weather deck, brought to you by Rick's Custom Fencing and Decking, and for the most part, it is a beautiful blue sky. St. Helens, I can see Rainier off to the north too, so that tells you visibility is pretty good. Here's the Rose City camera, and like you, I do not know what the noontime temperature is. It is updated since I left the weather office, so I'm finding out for the first time, and there it is, 69 degrees. Now, we can easily warm up 15 degrees, maybe more than that, as we roll through the afternoon. So confidence is high that we will at least get up into the 80s this afternoon. Take a look at where we are. Mostly upper 60s to a bunch of 70s on the board, including Beaverton at 72 degrees at noon. Winds are generally calm to light. It's very, very pleasant outside. You can see the low 70s in Kaiser and Salem at noon as well. We'll leave the forecast high of 86. We could do that. Still 81, a mainly clear evening for you. Now, of course, it's a big weekend because we have the Starlight Parade, of course, tomorrow evening. Here's Futurecast. I'll talk more about this coming up, but there is a weak cold front that comes in tomorrow. Will bring clouds, could bring some decent wind. We actually have wind watches up for parts of our state for tomorrow. We'll talk more about that in my complete forecast. For now, Drew, back to you.
All right. Weather Deck Rod, we thank you for that. Let's get to our local news headlines here at noon. This was the scene just down the street from our studios in downtown Portland earlier this morning. Police say they were serving a search warrant at these apartments on 12th and Columbia. It's believed a drug dealer was occupying one of the units. Police had armored cars there for extra support, and it looked as though they took a couple of people into custody, although we haven't gotten any information yet about any arrests. Police did say there's no danger to the community. State police are investigating a shooting that happened along I-5 near Wilsonville. They say they arrested a man accused of shooting at cars between I-205 and the Ellingson Road exit. This happened sometime between 5 and 7 o'clock yesterday morning. Police also identified 2 victims and said one of them had minor injuries. Anyone who saw what happened should contact Oregon State Police. The Woodstock neighborhood Papa Murphy's in southeast Portland plans to reopen this afternoon after a man went into the shop on Wednesday night. You see right there, absolutely tore it apart, and then threatened the workers behind the counter. Portland police identified the suspect as 38-year-old Joseph Thomason. They say he armed himself with a couple of knives that he took from the kitchen and was acting aggressively. The manager of the shop got the crew out safely and was able to lock the man inside. Police arrived to de-escalate the situation, and Thompson eventually surrendered.
It's shocking. I feel really sad and distressed to see this. Yeah,
it's just plain disappointing. Just plain disappointing because, you know, it's, to see what happens to some strange people, what they do. I don't know what's going on in this crazy world.
Well, Thompson faces several charges, including criminal mischief, menacing, and disorderly conduct. As the school year winds down, we're talking about a classroom subject that's been a difficult one to tackle the last few years. KGW's Thomas Schultz has more on how teachers are covering the Israeli-Palestinian conflict and how some local parents feel about the curriculum.
As war continues in Gaza, with Israel killing dozens in airstrikes to pressure Hamas to release hostages, conversations around curriculum circulate in the Portland metro area.
It's frustrating.
Liz Terzo is a Jewish parent in the Beaverton School District. She believes pro-Palestinian curriculum is pervasive in schools.
I worry that things like this fuel anti-Semitism and hate and normalize it.
In April, the Beaverton Teachers Union held a workshop for educators to learn about the history of Palestine, a workshop Terzo believes was slanted.
Material like this being presented to our teachers or being presented in a school can really be divisive in our community.
The Beaverton Teachers Union pushed back in a statement, saying their workshop was held to help educators address complex questions raised by our students about the ongoing events in the region. Though concerns over curriculum have been a theme in the Portland metro area for more than a year. Last spring, Portland Public's Teachers Union held a similar workshop, which the Jewish Federation slammed as one-sided.
It's really a way of falsifying the history of Israel and the Israeli-Palestinian conflict.
Bob Horenstein with the Jewish Federation believes these workshops are far from balanced.
This is a very biased narrative.
And parents say it can lead to problems for Jewish students.
They don't feel like they can say that they're Jewish or acknowledge that they're Jewish to a teacher because they can sense that that won't be accepted.
In Portland Public, families and staff are grappling with the issue too.
There are students in our districts who have escaped Gaza. So, what about their feelings?
Susanna Kassouf is a teacher at Grant High School. She co-wrote a book called Teaching Palestine, which is described as uplifting and celebrating Palestinians' struggle for justice.
No one is suggesting that Teaching Palestine is the only resource that should be used when teaching about the Middle East, but we are suggesting it should be one of them.
And some Portland public parents want more content in classrooms about the impact the war is having on Palestinians.
My opinion is that it's actually not being taught at all.
Mar Zuzman is a Jewish parent in Portland Public who supports Palestine. She believes teachers are too intimidated to teach about the conflict.
We need our teachers and our administrators to know that we have your back.
While everyone we spoke to has a different opinion, they all agree on one thing. They want this topic to be taught in a balanced way. But that means different things to different people. So we asked an expert to weigh in.
The answer to that problem is not to remove instruction about the subject, or, by the way, to slant it towards the Israeli side. The answer is to present both sides. Look,
Jonathan Zimmerman wrote a book on teaching controversial issues. He says while parents will disagree about what curriculum is appropriate to teach, opinions shouldn't prevent educators from using a range of sources to teach about the war.
I think in a democracy, we want them to be engaged in these questions.
Thomas Schultz, KGW News. What do you like about the bike ride this morning?
I really liked the fire trucks.
Yeah, Firetrucks are always a hit with the kids, right? Special start to the day for this group of kids who bike to Vernon School in Northeast Portland. They got that Firetruck escort this morning. Dozens of kids have biked to this school for years as part of the city's bike bus movement. Parents say it helps kids get their day off to a good start and creates a better sense of community.
So I was actually talking to one of the other parents, and kids love fire engines, and I was like, how cool would it be to have a fire truck lead it? The bike bus is all about building community and getting kids out on the road and feeling safe riding on the streets.
The kids here love the fire department. They're excited every time they see it, and I want to make the bike bus just a very fun event. The kids love coming out and doing. They already do, but this is just makes it all that much more special.
Who doesn't love the fire department, right? The group Bike Bus PDX says there are bike buses at almost 24 Portland schools, led mostly by parent volunteers.